Yeah, 5:30, we're gonna stand for the pledge. Mr. Janik, would you like to lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
L.A.D.
Commissioner.
Just the commissioners.
Yeah.
Mark Serbrook,
Present.
Roger Mayhew,
Yep.
and David,
Here.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Oswald.
Here.
Any additions or corrections to the agenda?
I would like to make one addition under new business if we could. In regards to a voucher system for the transit system for individuals that are receiving assistance through DHHS.
Is it fairly
Brief, yes.
brief?
Yes.
Okay,
It should be.
because
It's important.
any other additions or corrections?
I think we need to address that letter we got from the prosecutor, but her new opening.
Did she request it be discussed?
Well, we have to give her at least a consensus of us to say that she can search for another one. Just like she came at
Did she,
this meeting.
did she talk to you about it?
You sent the memo that I sent.
I got it.
The way your resolution is worded, she needs to notify you, so you want to be very brief about it and just say, okay, and you're good to go. You don't have to do anything formal, but just to acknowledge that she's
Right.
presented.
Doesn't have,
We'll put that under new business too. Any other additions or corrections? Motion to approve.
So move.
Motion Commissioner Serbrook, support from Commissioner Mayhew. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Declarations of conflicts of interest. Any commissioners? Public comment and agenda item matters. Any public comment in the room? Any public comment on the phone? Item 4, consideration of proposals for administrator / controller search. First, we have Michigan Municipal League. Commissioner Scott, I believe that's you.
Mr. Can't remember, your name isn't popping up there anymore.
Oh, I apologize. Anderson, Glenn Anderson.
That's right, that's right. He's on the phone. He might as well give his pitch.
Mr. Anderson, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Chairwoman, I guess. An honored to be here, honored to be asked to make a presentation, and the Michigan Municipal League is just honored to be part of the process, and obviously we'll respect whatever decision your commission will make. But again, just thank you for the opportunity. My name is Glenn Anderson. I have 38 years of municipal experience, mostly in village and city management work. I retired in 2018. And in 2019, I started as one of 5 recruiters part-time for the Michigan Municipal League. And then I also, just in a full disclosure, became a county commissioner in Houghton County simultaneously. So for what that's, at least make that so you're aware of that. So I've been doing searches since 2019. I love it. The Michigan Municipal League, of course, only focuses on municipalities in Michigan. That includes villages, cities, townships, counties, sometimes water and sewer authorities. But that's all we do. There's 5 of us. We do between 25 and 30 searches a year throughout Michigan, from one end of the state to the other. Just an example, I did the city of Belding earlier this year. A year ago in 2024, I did the search in the city of Wayne. So I was actually down in Wayne County, which is from a person in the Upper Peninsula. That was a little new experience for me. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that we do have 500 to 600 current resumes because of the searches we do. And as all of you know, I think every position that I've dealt with has some county administrators, some county controllers, former county controllers, former county administrators, always part of the ecosystem, applying for positions in cities and villages and townships, and conversely. So in some ways, we're somewhat in the same pool that we're doing. As some of you know, we're doing, my partner, Jerry Richards, is just finishing up in Gratiot County for the county administrator there, and they have a strong pool. Very lucky to have that, very fortunate. And And again, just maybe a quick, I won't go on too long, but just obviously what you get for what we can do. Um, we certainly follow county government very closely, as we do all of municipal government in Michigan. Our timing is your timing. If you want us to start as early as next week, that's fine. If you want to wait till after Thanksgiving, that's fine. I can be down there for the profiling session on Tuesday. Some of you I may have mentioned, I go through West Branch and your county, 7, 8 times a year. Been doing that for 40 years. Either going down to Northville or Ann Arbor or Lansing, not so much Lansing, but Ann Arbor, Northville. And I got cousins down there. We run out to Washington, D.C. a lot. I always drive. I don't fly. So anyway, I'm just very comfortable with West Branch. I have no trouble traveling down there at any time. And then we will do it. We would do a comp, a wage survey custom for your county and your size county, which of course is beneficial. And I think just you obviously have our proposal. The details generally are in there. We would start with a profiling session with your group, your county board. We'd write up an advertisement. The advertisement would be 7, 8 pages long. You would edit that, you would review it. We would not send that out. Once that work is done, the league requires, or their policy is 4 weeks of advertisement. And then within a week or two, we would have a closed session to review the candidates. What you get from us, besides knowledge of the business and the profession, you also get knowledge of what candidates might have some baggage, what candidates are serial applications or applicators that apply to all positions, not only in Michigan, but throughout the country. We, of course, advertise nationally as well as in Michigan. So this would be a national search. And then after then for those that apply, the league will do some pre-screening. We'll interview the candidates by phone. Again, show their positives and the negatives they may have. And that's presented in closed session, of course, and then the county board, of course, would select the candidates who they wish to interview. And of course, in Michigan, all candidates that we deal with ask for confidentiality. So that whole process is confidential until such time as you invite a candidate for an interview and that candidate accepts. And then, of course, then it becomes public. And then besides screening and checking references and looking at their resumes, and again, whatever profile you wish to have, if you want somebody strong in obviously accounting, which you do, grant writing, HR, personnel, budgeting, whatever finance, whatever your specialty is included in that, we would try to help and recruit candidates that meet your profile. And then during the interview process, we would at least give you a suggested list of interviews, questions. And again, we don't, we'd hopefully that you would have some of your own questions, but we provide that as a courtesy, and then we stay with you until an agreement or contract is worked out between the final candidate that you select. We will not come in and make one recommendation. We don't work that way, but we certainly would come in and hopefully give you candidates that are at least 5 or 6 candidates that are very strong, that meet your requirements and are available, for interview. That's just a very snapshot. Again, you have our proposal that gives you more detail of that process. But again, we can go at your speed. So if you want to go faster, if you want to go a little bit slower, that works for us. And again, I'd just be excited to represent your county in a search. And obviously, whatever decision you make is we will totally respect that. And again, just thank you for the ability to make the proposal and to be considered. And if you got any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Commissioner Wiltie, questions for?
So I definitely don't see us being slow speed. I'm looking at this more of a fast speed, but obviously done right. So say we're more towards the fast speed. What type of timeline? I know you said something about next week you could start, but I mean, how soon do you think we would be interviewing?
Well, if you take the fast approach, if we started the profile session within the week to 10 days, Then by the end of November, you would have a final ad that would go out, maybe even a little bit earlier. And then, of course, you have to agree to that ad. You may have edits or additions or subtractions in that ad. And then it would go out for 4 weeks of advertisement. So whenever we get the ad accepted by your group, the board, we would then advertise for 4 weeks. So that would put us in right around Christmas time. So my guess is we'd be in closed session the first week of January would be a reasonable expectation. Interviews the second or third week of January, and probably a conclusion to the process if you find the candidate that's a fit for yourself by the end of January is the way I would see it.
Okay, I just have one more. And then do you have options to also offer interim county administrators to help us find those?
The Michigan, no, we do not directly, but the Michigan Municipal Executive, the MME, which many county administrators, county controllers are members of, they have a list of retired managers and administrators that are available for interim management. So that's the Michigan Municipal Executives, MME. The MML is part of the I guess is kind of the staff for that group, but nevertheless, we could get you a list at any time for that, and then you would make your own decision on who you'd want to, if you did want to hire one of those on the list.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Commissioner Scott.
Well, just to compound Commissioner Wiltse's thing now, in the case like Tim's moving on, even if we did make a selection at the end of January, we may have to wait 30 to 60 days for that person to discontinue his job where that person's job wherever he's at, that may be part of it too, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Obviously, yes, you're right.
Yeah, they're not going to want to terminate their position until they're secured hiring someplace else.
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm familiar with the search. Jerry Richards helped us 5 years ago, and so I'm pretty well knowledgeable about that. So go ahead.
We do utilize you guys in 2020. We were very pleased with you.
Yes.
I'm looking at the pricing of this. This is a $20,000 cost, correct?
With membership.
We're members now. We were not before, correct? Or are we not members?
No,
You're not members of the MML. You are members of
our-
MAC, but you're not members of the MML.
So 28,000.
Correct.
No, we can join for
That-
1,100. Join again.
That's correct. That's correct.
1,100.
There is, you are correct.
Change.
Just not all of us, just a quick little update as well. Not all of us were on the board in 2020 when we did this, but we had selected because it's quite a process to get started. There was two commissioners, I believe it was Commissioner Scott and Commissioner Newbecker, that were subcommittees for this search and worked with Mr. Richards pretty closely. And when they got it down to, I believe, 3 or 4 candidates, then we all sat in on the actual interviews and participated. But during all of this whole process, we had a subcommittee which worked pretty well versus trying to get everybody together at certain times and meetings but just to update you guys that were not on the board at the time. Commissioner Mayhew, do you have any questions?
No.
Commissioner Serbrook.
No, I've read their proposal through 3 different times. And so, questions that have been asked were some of the ones I had. The timeline is in their proposal. The basic timeline for the fast track was already in there. So I do not have any more questions. I don't have any at this time.
Okay,
I have one more.
oh, go ahead.
So just to confirm then, $1,000 to join and then $20,000?
1167.
I thought we were members, so it's my fault.
We dropped it,
Okay, well, the 1,167 and then
20,000.
20,000, it's under pricing, yeah, $20,000. And if that, I read in here too, I guess if say it doesn't work out, then there's no charge, they initiate the search once again, correct? If it's less than a year, is that what I read?
Yeah, yes, there's a year, I guess, guarantee that if for some reason the one that you select goes south, we would do a new search for you without the fee within a year.
I guess I got one more question, and I'm gonna ask both individuals this. Now, the position when we originally hired it back in 2000 was a county administrator. It was not a county administrator / controller. over a few year period, because it was a brand new position for this county. They had never had a administrator slash controller. We turned that position into an administrator slash controller position in what year?
23.
23. So that's fairly recent. I guess with part of the recruitment process, it took us quite a few years to build up some trust and a relationship and understand this role and definitely get us pointed in the right direction here. Advice from you as far as this position with a new person coming in, do you think it should just be a county administrator position, or do you feel it should be a county administrator slash controller from the start?
Well, generally, I mean, I'm not, my understanding is generally either the county selects the position as administrator or controller, because they do have technically under state law a little bit of different jurisdictions, and that's in the MAC book if you guys want to do a little research on it, which most, if you're ever familiar with their county government book, which is done very well. But having said that, they're very similar positions. They just have technically some legal, different legal jurisdictions. So if you're comfortable, I mean, you set your position, certainly I would not. And if that works for you as a administrator slash controller, which is your call, and we certainly respect that, and that would be part of the job description, obviously.
Jim, I'm going to ask you your thoughts on that.
I have to tell you, since 23, I've been a lot freer to maneuver, particularly when it came to the finances and some of the issues we've been through. I had more authority to get information from departments. It wasn't a matter of, you can't tell me what to do. And when you're a controller, it tells department heads literally in the statute. If something's requested, you hand it over. End of story. I do think that made some difference in terms of how we were able to get through what we had to get through. It also gets me more into the general ledger and the day-to-day workings of the financing component of it with the authority of the statute to be able to do it. So I think there's advantages to that. Where we stand right now with our structure the way it stands, if you wanted to go to the administrator route only, I mean, that's fine, but it's going to limit a little bit what your person can do within the organization. May limit, maybe not. I mean, the people are pretty used to the way I'm functioning right now, but it does eliminate any question about what I have the authority to get to if I need to.
It takes some time to build that trust and that relationship with that individual. So it was a thought.
Yeah, and just for the record, like Houghton County, they have since got a new, and they have it as a county administrator, but the person before him was both county, or before her was both county administrator and controller. So even Houghton County had the dual role that apparently you have.
Are you able to stay on the call in case anybody else has any questions moving forward?
I will be here if you wish me to be here, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, we have Michigan Leadership Institute. Mr. Janik,
Would you like me?
come on up.
Pretty close here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. First of all, Glenn and his staff do a great job in searches. So I know if you choose them, they will do a good job. I've watched them over the years when I was a county administrator do searches, and they always do a very professional job. So I know you had a good experience with them 5 years ago, which is good, which you want people to have a good experience. So my name is Chet Janik. I'm a consultant with the Michigan Leadership Institute by background. I was a county administrator for 11 years in Leelanau County. Our paths almost crossed in Leelanau because Tim was a planner there for quite a few years, I think.
13. Yeah.
13 years, yeah. So, but Tim left before I got there as administrator. Before that, I was a school superintendent for 10 years in Buckley Schools and then Charlevoix Public Schools. Before that, I was a college administrator for 20 years at Northwestern Michigan College in Traverse City. So that's my background, always been in a leadership role. I have a master's in leadership, and I've done a lot of in services on that topic. So thank you for this opportunity. I do have a PowerPoint. I don't know if it's Tim, can you control it or?
Tom does that, and I think he's getting it right now.
Is Tom up there? Okay. Feel free to stop and ask questions.
Oh.
And much what I'm going to say is the same as MLI does. So how about next slide there, please? All right. So that's the Michigan. Next slide, please. So we provide a broad variety of services. We started off doing higher education and K-12 school district. That was their expertise. They've had a lot of calls from individuals, units of government asking, can they help them with searches? And so they kept saying no, no, no. They worked out partnership with MAC, where when I retired in 2022, they asked me to join on their staff as being a consultant. So I do all counties, townships. I've done some villages searches, so that's my expertise. There's 14 of us statewide. We're all retired superintendents. We're a nonprofit. One of the questions people always ask is, well, your fees are much lower than everybody else. Well, because we're all retired and the Michigan Leadership Institute is a nonprofit agency. Next slide, please. Okay, established in 1998 in Traverse City by Dr. Tim Quinn. Tim Quinn was the president of Northwestern Michigan College. I was his assistant for special projects. I worked with Tim for many years. And he's the one that was a big mentor in my life. He passed away this past summer, unfortunately, very quickly. But if it wasn't for him, I would have never been a school superintendent, and I probably would have stayed at Northwestern Michigan College. But he kept pushing me outside my comfort zone. So it's a big loss when he passed away. We've done over 500 searches now. And most of them are school districts, but we've done nonprofits, we've done townships, villages, counties, and so forth. All right, next slide, please. And I'll go through this so we can have more of a dialogue on my proposal. Next slide, please. All right, this is our logo. We say it all. By the way, we're under the umbrella of the Genesee ISD School District, and that's where we have our nonprofit status from. Our main focus is developing and supporting strong leaders, and that's at the K-12 district, higher ed, counties, townships, villages, so forth. Next slide, please. All right. One of the unique things, and that doesn't impact you, we provide a leadership academy for people interested in being school superintendents, which I was a part of. It's a very worthwhile program. We've done county searches. I've done strategic planning. I'm working now with the village of Pentwater to develop a long-term plan. They have not had a strategic plan ever. And they brought me on to do that. Next week, I'm going to the village of Northport in Leelanau County to help them with a development plan also. So that's a broad spectrum of activities. I also do coaching for people who are new with county administrators or school superintendents. Next, please. All right. And pretty much the same as Glenn pointed out, kind of the same format in terms of I've been doing this for 3 years. I know what candidates are out there. I do know which ones are interested in being interim. I've helped last year, Leelanau County had an opening. I recruited 5 individuals. They interviewed and picked one person as their interim, who actually stayed there for almost a year. But as Glenn pointed out, we also do the whole process, which I'll walk you through here shortly. Next, please. Okay, we also guarantee a successful search. If for some reason the candidate at the 1 year leaves without a health issue, then if you're interested, we'd be glad to do the search again at no cost. That's only happened twice in the history of the Michigan Leadership Institute. We're a partner of MAC also. We joined MAC in 2012 or 2022 when I retired to join MAC. And like I said, some of the services we offer is governance workshops, strategic planning, negotiations, community forums, focus groups. Next slide, please. I got a bit of a sore throat here, so I'm coughing. Excuse me. I don't know if it's hay fever or what, but I was raking leaves all day yesterday. And at night, I felt it. So I'm still badly sore throat here. All right. Next slide here, because I think we talked about that. We obviously know the Open Meetings Act and so forth. As I said, we have a team of 14. When there's a posting, for example, I would get the word out to all the members throughout the state. So I may not know someone in Marquette, but someone out there may know somebody or someone in Genesee County or someone in Birmingham. So we get the word out to our consultants and they may know people that are interested in these positions. But I would be the person that you'd be working with. Next slide, please. We'll get to the meat and potatoes here. Next slide, please. We just have a long strategy. In terms of how long the searches last, the quickest one I did was in Missaukee County. They're in Mr. left and they want to move quickly. We did the entire search. I would not recommend this in 5 weeks from the posting to interviewing. to finding someone. They ended up with an internal candidate. Which is, I think, why they went through it, but that took 5 weeks. Kalkaska County was, I think, 9 months. And the reason is they did not have an administrator for 12 years. And so we had to create the position. I did the job descriptions. We went through the entire process. Did the first round, they just did not feel comfortable with the candidates, so we reposted it, did a second time, so that one took 9 months. So my fee is based until you find the right candidate, so whether it's 5 weeks or 9 months, the cost is the same. Next, please. Excuse me. All right, this is kind of, I think, what you're interested in here, the administrative search process. So let's go over this here. Next slide, please. All right, step one is pretty much same as MLI. If I were selected, I would come here for a day or so, meet with all of you. If you're gonna do a committee process, that changes. That's up to you how you wish to do that. Normally, when I do the search, most counties want all the commissioners involved. I've had 2 that didn't, but every other township and village and county, everyone wants to be involved. So that's up to you to decide. I've done it with committees also. But that's up to you. I would come down here, spend a day or two, talk to all of you. If you wish for me to talk to staff people, I've done that. Some counties want that. Some do not want input from the staff. Some want the elected official to be part of that process. So it really is up to you. I would work with whoever you designate as my contact, direct contact. Usually it's the board chair. And we would streamline the process that you feel comfortable with. There's a joke out there in Michigan, there's 83 counties. I believe there's 72 administrators. The joke is if you know one administrator, you know one administrator. We all have different backgrounds. Them was in planning, mine was in education. In Northern Michigan, Grand Traverse has one that was a deputy sheriff. Wexford has one that was acquisition director. Benzie had one that has a finance background, so everyone has a different background. It's just what fits in the right county at the right time, the right spot. So that'd be the first place. And then based on your information, I would create a profile, just as Michigan Municipal League does. And I would share that with you to see if you feel comfortable with that. One thing I think is critical, we need to, if I'm selected, we need to talk about the salary range. It's not fair to the candidates. It's not fair to you. They have expectations that don't match. I didn't do the search, but in Northern Michigan, there was an opening for a community mental health director. And in his cover letter, he wanted at least 180,000. He posted a job from 100 to 150. In his letter, he said, if you don't want to meet those range, don't interview me. They interviewed him, spent the time, went through the process, picked him, and they could not agree on contract terms. He says, I told you from the beginning what I wanted. And now fairness to the board and fairness to the candidates, I always feel you should have a range out there, a realistic range that you feel comfortable with, realistically with. Because you don't want to waste your time, you don't want to waste the candidate's time. And that causes hard feelings. I had an unfortunate situation. I did the search in Marquette this winter. There's no easy way to get from Traverse City to Marquette in January and February, but I did that. And we posted a salary range. And one of the candidates agreed to it. I called him several times about it to make sure he felt comfortable with it because it was more than he was currently making. He was, oh yeah, my wife and I want to live up there and so forth. So great, we interviewed him, give him a job, and we can't come up with contract terms. Because he wanted much more money. And I said, out of fairness, to us, why did you do that? Well, he used it as a leverage chip to get more money where he was currently employed. But that is unfair. So I always try to make the candidates know right up front, this is the range. We're going to stick with the range. But I think it's important that you have this dialogue. What I did with Marquette and when I did with Branch County, I gave them a list of what the salaries are throughout the state of Michigan. So you have a comparison because that's important. One of the things you asked about controller/administrator. That's important because I worked with 2 counties that did not know the consequences of the Administrator/Controller Act of 1927. And there are some differences that Tim pointed out. Some counties feel comfortable with that, some don't. One of the biggest things is if you wish to terminate that person, it takes a 2/3 majority.
Mhm.
If you have administrator, it's a simple majority. And also, as Tim pointed out, the administrator/controller does have authority that administrator does not have. Some counties, it's a large issue. Some counties, it's not an issue. I had two counties that went from administrator/controller to just an administrator. They did not know that by the Controller Act, they need a 2/3 majority. That person retired, but it caused some feelings there, some frictions there too. Also, you may get a different type of candidate depending on how you post a job. I know some counties, including one large county downstate, didn't want to go through the process, so they had an administrator/controller position. That person retired. They posted as administrator, but also with oversight over the finances. So it depends on how you feel comfortable with it. It does vary from county to county. And so something that we would have to talk about, I think we should proceed. So step one would be, I would meet with each of you individually or with the committee to proceed how you wish to do the search. I would come up with the background information about the county, the salary range that you have to agree with, many attributes of this county, and more of a perspective thing, just as MLI does. I would bring that to you. You would agree with that. Once you agree with that, we do the posting. 4 to 5 weeks is the standard. I would not do a posting less than 4 weeks, unless you really are in a rush. People need to think about it. People want to talk to their families, talk to their spouses. Some candidates like to come up here before they even apply, to drive around and see what it's like. If they have a spouse that has a position, and you look at that. So out of fairness to them, really 4 weeks is, I would say, at least 4 weeks. After that, as you know, in the Michigan law, candidates do have the right to have their application be reviewed in confidence. And so most choose to do that. I recommend, just as MI, that they do that. We would go into closed session. Some counties want to see all the candidates. Some counties say, give us the top 10. So that's a decision that you need to make. Some counties say, we want to see all of them, but rate them and give us your top 5 or your 5 or 10. Obviously, the decision is up to you if you wish to select as finalist. I would give you a list of questions. I usually have about 25 questions that would customize based on your county needs. And from then, I think it's critical that you ask the same questions to each of the candidates. After that, I strongly recommend that you do a follow-up interview with 2 or 3 finalists, which is more of a dialogue. There are people that, as you probably know, that interview very well the first round, but you start doing in-depth questions. The second round is more of a follow-up, what they said the first round, or maybe focusing on local issues here. And some people do their research and some don't. I found out several times where someone had, you don't rate them as first, second, or third. Let's say you pick 3 finalists. A lot of times, sometimes the candidates who are number 1 at the first round don't end up getting the position because they may have not done the research. They may have not had the depth. I've had situations when I was a school superintendent where some people just had the gift of gab, while other people come across more sincere in a more relaxed atmosphere. So I always recommend do a second round of interview. I always recommend that you also do an open house for the community and your employees can come and talk to the finalists, not with all the ones you interview. I usually do it with the second round. If you're down to 2 or 3 finalists, give the staff, give the community the opportunity to discuss it with them, interview them. Those are usually informal sessions. And I think the people appreciate that, being part of the process. Obviously, the final decision is up to you, but sometimes you get input. Sometimes the employees pick up things that the board would not. I had one situation where one candidate came across very arrogant to the staff, completely different than he did with the commissioners. And the staff picked that up right away, that this person really want to be here or not. During the public interviews with the board, that did not come across, but it did. I sat in on the meet and greet, and you could tell he was just kind of going through the motions. That got picked up, but that got back to the board, and they picked up a different candidate. So we do that. Once you select a candidate, I will help you. I won't draft the legal contract, but I help you with the terms. I usually act as a mediator it can be a little awkward sometimes once you pick the finalist for that person, and usually it's the board chair or a committee negotiate final contract. I act as a mediator between the two sides to try and find common ground and then hopefully sign the contract. So like I said, the process can last a little as 4 or 5 weeks, which I would not recommend. Or the longest one was 9 months for the fee. Once that person comes on, and you're right, once that person agrees to the contract, there's gonna be a period, because he or she has to give notice, have to find housing, everything. And so a lot of times in the in-between period, I host a workshop with the boards on governance. So it's clear from the very beginning, and you want the new person and you to get off to a good start. But I talk about, it's usually about 2 to 2.5 hour workshop about effective governance, why certain boards work well, whether ones do not. What are the expectations of the new person coming in? Also, for that person, give you an opportunity to express his or her views on how they like to proceed, their style. So usually that works out well. We also set some 6 months goal for that individual. So a person coming in may not know the details, or I'm sure Tim has some goals that he's working on. Sometimes those are passed on to the new administrator, sometimes they are not. So we do the workshop, and normally I try to do that before the person starts. So they know from day one what the expectations are. I've done it as late as 3 months into a tenure too, which is fine. Sometimes that's helpful because that person has an idea what the issues are and more of the culture of the county too. So it can be done either way, but that's part of the fee also. So just like the other presentation, if for some reason the person leaves in less than a year, we would do the search at no cost. And I would be the person working with you. We have 14 people, but I'm going to do those county administrative searches. So in a nutshell, that's a presentation. I don't want to take too much of your time.
And your cost is,
9,000, I gave it to you there.
I seen it. I just wanted you to say it out loud.
$60, yes. Plus,
10,000.
yes,
Yeah.
plus travel expenses. Obviously, Traverse City is not that far, so there'd be no overnight, just be mileage. And so for the only additional cost would be the ads that replaced. We could place them for you. Most counties prefer to have it done directly. I would place the ads for you on behalf of the county, but a lot of media gives discounts for units of government. And that way there's no overhead, there's no cost. I would work with whoever you would assign to work with, place the ads where you wish to have them. I would give you a list of where you wish to, what the costs are. A lot of times we just place them and bills go directly to the county, so there's no overhead cost.
I was gonna say ads, where would you place them? So it would reach the most amount of people.
I've had good luck with some national things, Job Case. Most newspapers in the state of Michigan are in partnership with Job Case, where if you place it through them, they place it on about 30, 40 media sites, which are nationwide. Indeed is one, LinkedIn, so forth. And depending, I assume Grayling has a newspaper here, which I know that's probably your closest. Is there one?
We have a paper.
Is that-
It's a weekly.
It's a weekly though. I'm not sure they're part of that partnership. But I would come up with a media campaign for you to review.
Any online ads?
Oh, yeah, most of, yeah,
Okay.
yes, yeah, most of them, through Job Case, this is about 30 partnerships. Most of them are online. As I found out that majority of applicants apply online. The applicants would come directly to me, so they forward the candidates, keep their names confidential and so forth. I do not share them with the commissioners until after the deadline date. Got a couple incidents where commissioners like to know in advance. And that, if you do it for one commissioner, you have to do it for everybody.
Mhm.
And it's not fair because sometimes they have biases for or against someone. So I think just out of fairness to the process, I'd like to keep all the candidates confidential until after the deadline date. And then depending on you, if you want to see all of them, or if you just want to see the top 5, the top 10, whatever you like.
Commissioner,
Really, it has to be a two-way partnership.
Commissioner Wiltie, questions? Danik?
The couple questions I asked Mr. Anderson were covered, but I know, you said that we'll have additional costs with advertising. And I understand that, we don't know exactly what those are, but could you say on average, the last county
Yes.
administrator, what type of?
Well, I checked all of them. They've all been under 2,000.
range?
We do place ads in the Michigan Association of Counties, obviously, the Michigan Municipal League, Township Association. where these type of individuals are going through, but also, like I said, through job case, the local newspapers. When I did Marquette, we advertised in 6 different local newspapers because they're in partnerships. Most newspapers now are in a media partnership for advertising. And most of them go, for example, Travis Record goes to a job case, where it says about 30, 40 different websites that they post a job in. Marquette did the same thing, and when I did Branch County, they did it through the Kalamazoo newspaper and the Battle Creek newspaper, but they're in partnerships, so that it's all throughout the state of Michigan and in all these national searches.
Any other questions?
We decide we want to go with an intern. Is that something that you've done in the past too with, some other account for other?
Yeah, it's, there'd be no, I would make some calls to people that I know have interested in the past, serving interim, to see if they would be interested. You know, everyone's situation is different. You know, it depends whether you want someone full-time or part-time. I think most interims will probably want to work 3-4 days a week.
Yeah.
Unless they're local, you know, so it just depends. I can't guarantee you, but I have a list of candidates who may be interested.
So that's something you would help us out with if we go with you?
Yeah, that'd be part of the.
Yeah, part of the- Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Scott?
No, you're in parallel lines here.
Yeah, the process is pretty much the
Yeah,
same.
yeah,
And if you got, I think, 5 companies, you would get pretty much the same process.
no, I'm fine.
Commissioner Mayhew? Commissioner Serbrook?
No, it's been answered.
Do you have any questions for us?
When do you hope to make a decision?
We're gonna have this discussion hopefully here shortly.
Yeah.
Tim, do you have any questions for him?
The only thing I can't do is I'm hopping a plane tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. to go to Seattle. It's my grandson's 6th birthday party. And I'll be gone next week. So outside of next week, after that, I can work things then. So in theory, I could start as early as 2 weeks with the
We meet
face to
every,
face.
we do meet every week. First and third is like committee as a whole, like a workshop meeting, and second and fourth is regular meetings.
Yeah.
You know,
So,
so,
but have to go to my grandson's birthday.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for making the trip too.
Sure. It's a nice day for a drive.
Yeah. I believe Steve, is that Steve from MEC?
keep going.
Steve? Hi.
Yes. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks. Sorry, I'm gonna keep my camera off. I'm in the car right now, if you don't mind.
That's okay. Hey, I had some conversation with Derek briefly about what was going on here with Ogemaw County and this position. And he had mentioned, and I'm hoping I didn't misunderstand, about interim, that you guys are also able to assist with that.
Yeah, we have a list of former county administrators. Ours are just administrators. I think it's 5 or 6 people that we can provide. And I'm sure these names probably overlap with what Chet has and what Commissioner Anderson has from Houghton County there. But yeah, we do have a list as well, a small list of folks that have helped out counties in the past for various periods of time. So, but we do have a small list. I think it's 5 or 6 people.
Okay, and you are able to provide that to us free of cost?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Besides our
Yeah, I mean,
membership?
Yeah, that's part of your MAC membership. Yeah, I can just have Derek send it to you tomorrow.
Do you have any insight for us or any advice?
Not really. We don't really have a dog in this race. I'll tell you, both organizations are very successful at what they do. I've had 0 negative feedback from any of them. Started a recent partnership with Chet's group just in the past few years. It's been great. I know MML's been doing it for a while. I know Glenn personally, he's a great guy. So I think you're in good hands either way, to be honest with you.
Tim, do you have any comments?
I would concur with what Steve just said as far as his assessment.
Hey, commissioners, I guess opinions. Commissioner Scott?
Well, I think let's settle on a group tonight and start a plan going, and
I'm asking your opinion on that.
yeah. Oh, well, I think you, I talked to both sides, and you gotta come right down to it. They do both the thing. Mr. Jenkins, half the price. I gotta go with that. I can't, if it's 10-20%, that make my decision a little tougher, but I gotta go with, we need to be fiscally responsible for it. Michigan Municipal League did us a great job last time, great job. Yeah, but, I gotta go that way. That's the motion. I'll make a motion to that fact that it doesn't matter.
Let me ask everybody's opinion.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Take a time out of their
Go ahead,
schedule.
go ahead.
So
Yeah.
I think they both deserve,
Go ahead.
thank you. Commissioner Wiltie.
I definitely appreciate Mr. Anderson being here. Appreciate the fact that, you know, nothing but positive things have been said when we went for the hiring for Mr. Bill Honke. It was well before my times. But I was very impressed with Chet's presentation, and I mean, again, that is a big difference in price. So I am for the Michigan Leadership Institute.
Commissioner Serbrook.
What everybody else has said. I appreciate everybody's time. You know, again, we're not gonna beat a dead horse. When it comes down to the price, it appears that everybody's basically at an equal playing field with what the services are gonna be provided. You know, it's Michigan Leadership Institute.
Commissioner Mayhew. I just have a quick question for Mr. Janik. How many,
Call the chat, please.
I'm sorry.
That's.
How many, I guess I might have missed that. How many administrators in Michigan have you placed in positions?
Since, in the last 2 years, I believe 6.
Okay,
I've done some townships and some villages also.
but actual administrator / controller, you've done 6?
Oh, no, well, some are administrators, some are administrative controller. Most have been administrators. In the state of Michigan, and Tim, I may be off a little bit, about 40% have administrators / controllers. About 40 have administrators, and the rest are kind of, some actually have administrators / chief financial officers. One has administrators / equalization director, other one has administrators, finance director, so different titles.
Okay, so you've placed 6 in
Administrators.
administrators. Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah. And I think, my proposal has a list of counties and provinces also.
Okay, I'm gonna concur. I mean, that is a pretty big cost difference. About half the cost, but remember, we have to, the ads, which he said hopefully will be less than $2,000, and then some travel expenses, which won't be bad from Traverse City down. So, go ahead, Commissioner Scott.
Yeah, I'll just make a motion that we contract with Michigan Leadership Institute for our search.
I'll support Commissioner Scott's motion.
Motion from Commissioner Scott, support from Commissioner Serbrook. Further discussion? Roll call vote.
Mark Serbrook,
Yes.
Roger Mayhew,
Yes.
Jenny David,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
and Charles Wilsey.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. We look forward to working with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time and appreciate it. And good luck. And if you need any help, let me know.
Thank you very
Free.
much.
Free help.
Free,
If you
all right,
need any
we like
free
that.
help, let me
I
know.
like that.
So I guess, why don't we continue with this? We're agreed to contract with somebody, so why don't we continue with this discussion? Are you guys thinking subcommittee? Do you all commissioners want to be involved? Let's agree upon that and what our plan is moving forward.
Well, it's up, Mark and I are, you know, on a personnel, is it personnel? What?
Jenny and I are personnel.
And you guys.
Personnel, you and I are negotiation. Laugh that way.
Okay, yeah. So I really don't care. I mean, you know, we can have open. You know, we gotta post the meetings anyway, either way, we gotta post them on the committee or.
No, you don't. Not with only 2 commissioners.
Yeah. It's a fine line, but if you're not appointing a committee to do this, you're probably good. Because you need a liaison, if you will, with your consultant in this case.
Mhm.
So those aren't necessarily public meetings per se, so much that you're getting together and mapping you know, how you're gonna go about this.
That'd be the difference. So it doesn't matter to me.
Excuse me, I can confirm what Tim is saying. If you appoint a committee, and that committee is working towards a recommendation to the board, they have to be posted. If you assign a liaison or 2, but if all of you are involved, then we can have that dialogue privately.
Okay.
Commissioner Wiltie, what do you prefer?
Or all,
Pardon me?
gotta be 2 or all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're all.
Commissioner Wiltie, what do you prefer?
I mean, it's obviously such an important position. I would like us to be all involved if we could.
Commissioner Serbrook?
I like us to be all involved as well. My only concern is the fact of everybody's availability at the same time. I mean, it's tough, especially, you know, you're working, you know, Charlie's got 8,000 irons in the fire. You know,
Right.
Roger's still working. Craig and I are just out there.
Well, let me just say,
You know, so I mean, my concern is the availability of everybody to get together.
but really, I will interview, I'll have dialogue with each of you privately if you work as a group.
Okay.
To get your thoughts and opinions. I'll draft all the paperwork. The ads and so forth, then you can just meet during your regular meetings to approve those. Or you can have a special meeting. So really, to get the process started, I'll be glad to come down here in 2 weeks, set up appointments. I like to do them face to face, if not, we can go to the phone though, but I'd like to get each of your opinion on what you really would like to see in the next administrator. And go forward with that. I will draft that into a brochure or a media release, the ads and everything, and those I would like to have you approve before they go public,
Sure.
obviously. But really, in terms of actual work, a lot of it will not be at the meetings.
Right, that's what I want to avoid. I mean, because obviously we want this to continue to move forward. So that's why I found I call it a subcommittee that worked best prior, because you guys worked very closely with MML. And you guys took it down to, and I believe they did speak to each one of us individually and talk what we were looking for, but took it down to the top candidates. And then it did seem to move forward fairly quickly and fairly well. And we all agreed when we did pick the candidate. But if you guys want to keep this open to all of us, I'm open for that. If we run into problems with it, I guess we'll just have to reevaluate. So.
I think if we can make it, we may not have something every one of our meetings, but I think if we can incorporate it in our regular meeting schedule, make it an agenda topic.
We just got to make sure we continue to move forward and not
Yes.
sidestep.
Yeah.
When the more of us, we seem to sidestep.
Comment.
Go ahead.
I like what Commissioner Scott just said. I think that if we can try for the most part to keep alive with our Thursday schedule, I think it will help. But I definitely agree with you, Commissioner David. We really need to keep doing this forward. And if we start running into some road bumps with this, we need to discuss it.
And sometimes our topics and conversation gets sidetracked
No, never.
and off task. So as long as we're all agree upon that and you don't bite my head off when I pull you back in and say, let's move forward.
If you disagree with us, we wouldn't have a problem.
So, okay, anything else on the position, I guess, guys? We made some pretty important decisions
Well,
tonight. Do you have
just
any-
got one thing. I'd like to just talk about the interim. I think it's
Yeah.
important to get an interim in here as soon as possible, and especially if we could get an overlap, even if it's 1 week while Tim's still here.
I would like to see a list. I would like to have 5 lists from Mac, and I'd like to see your list. And
Make some calls and see if you're interested.
if you can just forward us a list and we can see who overlaps and we can talk about it next week.
We would greatly
Yes.
appreciate that, because that's
Yeah.
big for us.
Tim, do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, I'm happy to send material to you, you know, if they want to communicate with me, I'll make sure it gets distributed or however you want to do it.
Tim's comment.
Yeah.
Tim's last day is the 21st of November.
Right.
I was just gonna ask that, so.
If we could get a week ahead of time at least,
I know at least one individual I can call on the way home because he did a great job for me in Little County. He thought he stayed 3 months and I'm staying 11 months.
Okay.
It was very.
Surprise.
Anything else, Commissioner Serbrook?
No, ma'am.
Commissioner Mayo? Commissioner Scott? Commissioner Wiltie?
On
Okay.
this topic, no.
thank you.
Just go ahead, Mr. Jenkins,
Just call me Chad, please.
chat,
Yeah,
okay,
it's easier.
get your contract together so we can,
All you have, it's included in that
oh,
proposal.
It is.
sign off on
It's very simple.
We just need to print and sign.
Our legal team does our legal team need to look at it?
it. I'll be right here.
They can, but I don't think it'll take them long.
It is. It's very simple.
But
I read through it.
that's the motion. When I get back from Seattle, I'll start, I hope it's kind of a day or 2 here that, not actually get to leave back here.
Okay,
To start the process. Think about whether you want administrator / controller or just administrator. And I'll do some research on salary too, but kind of start in your mind thinking where you like the range.
Do we want to have that talk? Ruth?
Yeah, you just spiked that. Yeah, the administrator slash controller, I guess. What are your guys' thoughts on the dual role, on going back to an administrator until some trust and we have a better feeling of this person and how they fit in this position? I guess thoughts, Commissioner Wiltie.
I would like to move forward with staying with where we're at with the administrator controller. One thing I really liked about Chet's way he explained this to us is I think it would be great to get some interaction from a few of our other stakeholders. And the main person I think is Karen. I'd like Karen to have some, you know, some good thought and interaction with this process. But I would like it to be administrator controller.
Commissioner Scott?
Yeah, initially I thought just open it back up to administrator because the pool would be larger. But I think controller added in. I think administrator controller is the best thing. And I think that I think there's a pool out there. I think that's the way to go.
Commissioner Mayhew?
Administrator. Till we know what we got.
Commissioner Serbrook?
I like the administrator controller, as Tim said, it's definitely has its advantage to be able to garner certain information and documents from department heads and things, so I'd like to see it as an administrator slash controller position.
I have mixed feelings on this. I really do, because if the wrong person's in there. I mean, it worked well for the last 5 years for sure, and especially since we advanced that rule. You guys do have a budget committee now, so keeping a very close eye on things. I liked as well as Chet stated, as far as interacting with the elected officials and department heads, I definitely think that they should also be part of this decision.
You can think about it. You don't decide that right now about administrator slash controller. You can. Okay.
We are, but it's open dialogue at this point in time, and I have mixed feelings on this. I really truly do. I would like to see the pool of what we have, and I want all of us to give thought to that, so.
What some counties have done, just like you have established trust with Tim, he was hired as an administrator, I believe,
Correct.
correct? Yeah. Other counties have done that too, to build that trust and to protect themselves.
That's my thought process.
Now, part of the interview questions would be then, you want their background on financial issues.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
you could hire someone as an administrator, after a year or two, invoke the Control Act of 1927, name that person administrator slash controller. It gives you that protection that way. Kalamazoo County did that a couple of years ago.
That was my thought process, because again, it was a new position in 2020. The elected officials, department heads, we started financially headed in the right direction, and then advanced that position to administrator slash controller. But it would be devastating to get an individual in here that wasn't a good fit. I just think that level of trust has to be earned. So I see both sides of this. I'm in favor of the administrator initially as well, but again, I'd have to look at the pool and make sure that there's candidates for that. So, yes,
I'd just like to, I agree, if we could say we start out with the administrator with the
intent.
ultimate goal of that position becoming administrator slash controller.
Well, I can tell you again.
You know, and I don't know how that's gonna work for your candidates, but if you could put that out there, say, you know, we're looking for an administrator slash controller at some point.
Well,
You know,
as part of that, you could say you need someone with strong financial background.
right, with the ultimate goal being a administrator slash
I
controller.
know in Lebanon County, we just did that search a year ago. A person coming in was hired just as administrator, but they're having discussions now about changing that to administrator slash controller. They originally didn't want to do that because of the legal consequences of having a controller.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I worked with 2 counties that had no idea, because the person's been there for a long time. He was administrator slash controller. The board did not know the legal consequences of having a controller. So something that you really have to feel comfortable with. But you do have an option, and you can think about it, you have to decide right now. But when we start the process, You could post it as administrator, but you require someone with really strong financial skills background.
Sounds good to me.
We don't need to make a decision tonight.
No, we don't have to,
But I want you time to think about
but I
it.
gotta tell you, if I knew 5.5 years ago, the differences between the two positions and everything else, I think I would have pushed for a administrator controller right off the bat. But we didn't have anything to start with. And I don't remember anybody saying to us, you might want to consider reaching out there. We didn't get much help from the people here. They didn't, there's a lot of people that aren't here now that were here then and didn't want
It was changed.
somebody, and it's a lot different now. Yeah, if I knew now, I knew then what I know now, I would have pushed for a / controller then, but.
Commissioner Wiltie?
I kind of look at it as, and I do you agree with what you guys say to a point. I mean, it is important to gain trust, but I kind of look at it as we're gonna go hire a CEO, but for the first 8 months, we're gonna hold a real tight leash on the CEO because we don't know if we can trust them or not. And that's gonna hold them back from doing their job. It's gonna hold the county back from progressing the way it has been since Tim has been controller. So yeah, it's a big question.
Something for us to think about, so. Okay, guys.
Key is finding someone that really knows the culture and wants to be here.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And some longevity.
We had a candidate on paper for Little County and also for Brett, very strong, but he came from the city of Chicago. Things were done differently in the city of Chicago than in northern Michigan. And he interviewed well, but we knew from a personality standpoint, it would never work with the staff or with the board. He was too top heavy, too demanding, very abrasive, great technical skills, very intelligent man. But it was not a right cultural fit. So the key is finding someone that feels comfortable in this county and finding someone like Tim who can navigate different duties and responsibilities, but still fits in and is respected by the staff. I mean, that's the key. If the staff respects the person, things will work. You can have the most intelligent person in the world, the greatest financial skills.
They do here.
But if he or she
Here
is
with
not
the
connected to
commissioners,
staff
not
or the
every
board, it doesn't work out.
Right.
All right, thank you, sir. We're gonna move on. New business voucher transit system. Commissioner Serbrook.
Real quick, down and dirty, easy stuff. Given the fact that as of November 1st, there are not going to be any SNAP benefits distributed by the federal government and some other shutdowns in regards to people that are on assistance through the Department of Health and Human Services. They have reached out to Tony and he is on Zoom right now in regards to coming up with a voucher system that would allow people to ride the transit, and we'd be reimbursed by the state of Michigan for it. It would not be a physical voucher. It would be a printed list of the eligible clients that would be given to Tony. They would be entered into the system and then they would just get checked off as they got on and off the bus. And then, so.
Tony, do you have anything to add? Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, Tony, expound.
Tony, do you have anything to add to it?
Yes, good evening, commissioners. So like Commissioner Serbrook mentioned, because of the SNAP benefits potentially being taken off the board for some of the community members, Mrs. Owacki from the Department of Health and Human Services reached out to me to formulate a plan to provide transportation to individuals that will need transport to certain areas, right? So I'm proposing like a certain I guess different activities that impacted individuals can go to, such as school, work, any health related appointments, and especially the food pantry. That way it saves money on their end and they can still go to the places and not be limited for transportation because of, money constraints. I'm wanting to get this started as soon as possible. This is something that I worked on this morning. It was it kind of fell into my lap this morning. So still hashing out the plans, and I still need to collaborate more with DHS to come up with a rock solid plan. But what we have right now, I think should work. But like I said, I'm trying to implement this as soon as possible. That way, again, we're not limiting transportation for individuals that need their money for other necessities in their life.
Questions for Tony?
Nope.
Commissioner Serbrook, did you?
No, it's for by the state rather than the federal.
State.
It's pass through dollars, so the Michigan DHHS will reimburse us for the vouchers.
HHS will reimburse. us.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Did you
Right,
wanna-
and oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'll elaborate a little bit more as well. I'm not, like I said, this is again fairly new today. I still need to talk to DHS to see, what route we should take, whether it's a reimbursement or if we just provide free transportation. At the end of the day, as if you look at the revenue and expenditure reports, the fare box, what we receive, it's pretty much pennies on the dollar for transportation rides as it is. So again, it's a conversation I still need to have with DHS, but it's definitely an option. Either to be reimbursed through the state or to just provide free transportation.
You don't know if we're actually getting money for this or not.
We thought we were going to. Well, I thought when we were having this discussion, again, he just got hit with this
Yep.
morning, so,
Obviously, we need to provide these services.
exactly, and that's the whole point. Again, what Tony said is very, very true. The money that we collect from ridership fees
Right.
are minimal. Through no fault of these people,
Correct.
because of the federal shutdown, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And no matter which way we go, I think it's just the right thing to do
Absolutely.
for our citizens, period. Whether we get reimbursed from the state or not. If we get reimbursed from the state, it's gravy. If we don't, so be it, but it's the right thing to do.
Comment.
Go ahead.
I really appreciate Tony's been on this. I got, as the committee chair for transit, I got emails early on this and Tony's been working hard on this. I think he will have that conversation with DHHS and I'm sure there will be some form of reimbursement. And it's such a minuscule amount, the amount of money that comes into the transit revenue wise from our riders. And we all know that's all federal and state funded. But at the end of the day, these are our county residents that really need help. So we need to do this. And there's a good chance that, we could be looking in a week or so, the federal government could make some changes and this, could continue to go through. So, but either way, we need to help them. We have an opportunity.
Does someone want to make a motion?
I will make the motion that we allow transit to, I don't know how to word it, actually.
Work with DHHS on their voucher system. I think
Tim said,
For SNAP?
Yes,
Okay.
support.
Motion with support. Further discussion? Roll call vote?
Mark Serbrook,
yes.
Roger Mayhew,
Yes.
Jenny David.
Yes.
Craig Scott,
If it's free, no. If you get something, yes.
Yes or
I
no?
don't know. Yes, you're
Commissioner-
gonna give it away anyway.
You're gonna give it away anyway?
You give,
Commissioner Wiltie?
Yes.
Roll call vote.
Yeah.
Prosecuting position. Prosecuting position. Commissioner Serbrook, you asked for this to be on the agenda.
I didn't, Mr. Pettit.
Or Commissioner,
Oh,
sorry.
well, the prosecutors sent us a letter saying that she has another opening and we've asked we've demanded that everybody comes to us to ask for
Correct.
rehire. So I'm just saying, is it a consensus of the board that she can rehire? I say yes.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Commissioner Mayhew? Commissioner Serbrook?
Yes.
Yes, I read the letter. I appreciate the letter. It said it was for a pretty significant amount of money for this individual to move upstairs, so. Okay, there you go. Commissioner comments? Commissioner Serbrook?
None.
Commissioner Mayhew?
No.
Commissioner Scott?
No, we've talked all. Well,
Commissioner Wiltie?
I can't give reports.
Okay. General public comment. Any general public comment in the room? Any general public comment on the phone?
I have none.
Tom, give me something.
I have none. I appreciate the time that you guys put into this today and I like a lot of things that I heard, to be honest with you. I don't like the fact that Tim's leaving myself, but
That's appreciated. Thanks for the compliment to all of us.
Thanks, Tom.
thank you.
Adjourned.
Have a good night, everyone. Be safe.
All in favor? We're adjourned. Thanks, guys.
With you.
Thank you for your time.